rock and roll was, you know, that was the thing to say long ago.
Couldn't it be like, I don't know, gangster rap?
Sure, why not? Let's gangster rap this bitch. Does that work better for you?
Why does it have to be a bitch?
I don't know, because that's what you'd say if you're a gangster rapper, right?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a gangster rapper.
Oh, okay. So what's your deal?
Well, no, I was just asking.
So, okay, so we're going here, and we're up on YouTube again. Yay! So, just want to make sure we're going to give people a little bit of time to join us, and you've got your sound up. Or I do. One of us do.
I got to figure out where it is.
No, mine's muted, so it's got to be you.
So, maybe it's over here.
Yeah, I can hear myself.
Nope, this
on
one's
delay
off too.
What? Okay, wait a minute. How are you hearing it then? Because
I'm hearing it, but both of mine are muted.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
See, I can't. I just.
Yeah, it was me.
What's that?
It was me.
It was you. What a butt face.
Well, I look up at the top of the tablet.
No,
it says a little.
Just draw a line right down the middle of your face.
Yeah, whatever.
Left butt cheek, right butt
face.
cheek.
Yeah.
You're all talking about it. And I'm thinking it's because I'm looking at both of mine. I see that it's muted. It's like, what the hell?
Well, I was looking at the top of the tablet and it says it's muted, but then I can hear it. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So it's like, who's the dipshit that?
Really?
Well,
you're gonna go there.
Yeah, I'm going to go there because you always complain that I'm the one that does this and does that.
Blah, yeah, I know. You're always the techno idiot. So
yeah.
Well, it's one of those days.
So you were have you ever listened to Mongolian metal music?
What?
Mongolian metal music.
Can't say that I have.
I'll have to play it for you when we're done.
Mongolian metal music. Yeah. Maybe we'll have to do a show on Mongolian metal music.
It's actually pretty it's pretty interesting.
All right, well, it's 7 o'clock. Let's get rolling, shall we?
Well, where are we rolling to?
Into the show.
Oh.
Here we go.
Sure?
Yep.
Wait, I'm waiting.
Now.
Well.
Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dude, I Got an Idea podcast. We're coming to you live from Lacey. This is Greg Mason, and sitting across from me, getting it right up for once, is
James McEwen.
There you go. You finally got it right.
I know.
I was impressed.
You shocked
I didn't know how to act. I was just, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, so we have to watch our language on the air.
Well, we're not on the air. We're on the internet.
Good.
But, yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to live stream, but I gotta. I'm trying to techno live stream it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have it set up?
I think I'm failing. Oh, there we go.
So I also reduced the latency so we have a little less delay time so we can interact with people a little bit faster. So.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to chat publicly as Greg Mason, but. Is there anybody showing that it's even on? I got 3 people on.
Yeah, well, that's one of them's me.
One of them's you. One of them's me. But how come I can't make a chat? Whoops. My screen just failed.
I don't know. What'd you do?
It just went away. I didn't do anything.
See, now you're getting on me. And now it's your
Well, it's because you techno-geeked it so bad earlier, it screwed stuff up for me.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened.
I techno-geeked it, and so you can't
just
function.
Screwed my stuff up. Or everybody hates the topic.
Hey, it's Bob. Hi. So that's the one. So are you ready to actually talk about the topic? Or
yours says Hammer's War.
Yeah. Mine always says Hammer's War because that's what I use for the books.
I'll just leave it right there. So this isn't the book, though. This is the show. Okay, so tonight's topic is privileged.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of presents a conundrum, not a conundrum, but everybody trying to figure out what is it all about. And this is an ongoing topic that we've had. Well, this has been an ongoing topic that we've had, and it's popped its ugly head up again because of some idiot with Utah Jazz.
Yeah, an NBA basketball player, Kyle Korver. I have no idea.
Kyle Korver.
Korver. Yeah, he published an article today called Privilege. And it's been kind of a trending thing and people are talking about it. So we thought, let's actually read this guy's article and take a look at it and break it down. And so that's what I wanted to do tonight. So we're gonna go through this article a little bit.
Okay. We're gonna read all the way through it.
We can start and see how far we get before the argument gets going.
You want to read it or do you want me to?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
So I'll read it. When the police, and this is this Kyle Korver published today. So it starts, when the police break your teammate's leg, you think it would wake you up a little. When they arrest him on a New York street, throw him in jail for the night, and leave him with a season-ending injury, you think it would sink in. You think you know there's more to the story. You'd think, but nope. And I'm not sure if he's saying he didn't think or what the whole point of this is. But he goes on to say he still remembers his reaction when he first heard it happen to Tebow. It was late 2015, late in the season. No, wait a minute. This happened 4 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's just now writing
about it, yeah.
Boy, he's really on top of things.
Yep.
Okay. Anyways, details are still hazy, but the guys were saying Tebow hurt his leg during the arrest. What? He spent the night in jail. Everyone was pretty upset and confused. He says, well, almost everyone, my response was different. I'm embarrassed to admit it. So he doesn't say what his response was.
Well, he says this is why I wanted to share it today. So he goes on to talk about it.
Before I tell the story, let me say this real quick. Tebow wasn't some random teammate of mine or some guy in the league who I knew a little bit. We became legitimate friends that year in our downtime. He was my go-to teammate to talk about with stuff beyond the basketball world, politics, religion, culture, you name it. Tebow brought a perspective that wasn't typical of an NBA player, and it's easy to see why. Before we were teammates in Atlanta, the guy had played professional ball in France, Turkey, and Italy. He spoke 3 languages. Tabow's mother was from Switzerland, and his father was from South Africa. They lived together in South Africa before Tebow was born, then left because of apartheid. Okay, so where did they move to then? Doesn't say where he grew up.
It doesn't say, yeah. He doesn't give a lot of information beyond that.
So, okay. I mean, did he grow up in Switzerland? Did he grow up... He didn't grow up in South Africa. Did he grow up in the States?
I don't know. Yeah. It doesn't say.
Okay, it didn't take long for him to figure out that Tebow was one of the most interesting people I had ever been around. The guy probably hasn't been around very many people. They respected each other. We were cool, you know. We had each other's backs. Anyways, yes, I've read this article. I read most of this article, and I find this guy to be rather condescending and, what's the other word? Hoity-toity, kind of.
Yeah, well.
The way he talks. Okay. So, and you also have to realize I'm skipping through some of this stuff. Anyway, on the morning I found out that Tebow had been arrested, want to know what my first thought was about my best friend and teammate? My first thought was, what was Tebow doing out at a club on a back-to-back? In other words, they had 2 games in a row. That's a damn good question.
And he says here, yeah, guys, not how is he doing what happened during the arrest? Not some. It seems that with his something that seems off with his story. Nothing like that. I knew the full story before I had even had a chance to talk to Tebow. I sort of blame Tebow. So
how does he blame Tebow?
He's asking a legitimate question.
No, he's not.
No. I'm saying before about what was he doing out on a back-to-back.
Right, but see, then he turns around and he says he's blaming Tebow by asking that question.
Chuck says, holy crap, finally made it. I just want to read his real quick. Did we say Frank? I haven't talked to Frank, so I don't know.
Frank, if you're out there, just bang on the keyboard and hit him.
Frank, if you're listening, you just need to go in and make an account on YouTube and then sign in. And then you
or send me a text and I'll see it on my phone.
Yeah, or you can send it to Greg and we'll read it out that way.
Okay, so anyway, so back to this thing. Why does he feel he's blaming Tebow? For what?
Well, he's feeling guilty because his first question or his first thought was, what was he doing out?
Okay, why is that a bad thing?
Yeah,
these guys are teammates. They're professional basketball players. They rely on each other, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, if I was working a job that was and this, of course, playing basketball isn't that all high stress, but still you're depending upon each other for teammates. If I had so let's say I was back in the Army and I had a mission that I had to accomplish, and it was a very intricate mission, and so I'm trying to equate this to basketball, and some guy goes out the night before and he gets drunk and causes problems. I'm going to say, why the hell wasn't he arrested? Why didn't, what was his thought pattern on going out like that? He's failing the rest of us. So right from the get-go, I say Tabo's failing his team.
Right, and he's has nothing to do with race.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing to do with race, ethnicity, what sport you're playing, what task you're accomplishing.
It's bad decision-making.
Right.
Okay.
Do you want me to stay out late last night drinking heavily and acting stupid, and you and I have a show to do first thing in the morning?
No.
I'm going to come dragging my ass in here.
Yeah. Charles says, you guys are wrong. You said you would talk with him last week. That never happens, Greg.
Shut up, Chuck. So anyways, well, James, you're supposed to talk to him.
Yeah. Well, you told me I had to go down and talk to him.
Right, I did.
That doesn't mean I have a chance to.
You failed me.
Okay.
You failed Chuck. You failed Chuck.
I failed the team.
You failed Frank. You failed the team. And you weren't even drinking.
Anyway,
so he says he blames, he thought, well, if I'd been in Tabo's shoes out at a club late at night, the police wouldn't have arrested me. Not unless I was doing something wrong. So he's making the right leaps, okay? Now, why does he cringe at this?
Yeah, but he says the police wouldn't arrest me not unless I was doing something wrong.
Right.
See, that's an assumption, again, that they arrested him because he didn't do anything wrong, just because of his skin color or his race.
Right.
So
I would say to you that this idiot, Kyle Korver, is racist. Because he's making those assumptions. Oh, well, they arrested him because of his color. Well, maybe they arrested him because he broke the law.
Well, I think that what this guy Kyle is suffering is white guilt. He's feeling guilty because he's been told he has to feel guilty for being white. I think this is where this is coming from.
Right. This is the white privilege thing that everybody accuses whites of, and then when idiots like this buy into it, that they suddenly say, "Oh, I'm supposed to feel guilty about it." You know what? I don't feel guilty about not breaking the law. I don't feel guilty about staying in and getting the rest when I have an important mission or whatever the next day, so I don't fail the rest of my team. I don't feel, and if somebody goes out and does that and fails the team, I'm not going to feel guilty for thinking they're an idiot, regardless of what color or race, ethnicity, creed, whatever they are. Am I supposed to feel bad? So if they're Catholic and I'm Protestant, so now I have Protestant privilege? That's how stupid the whole privilege idea is.
Well, yeah, to me it is. So,
I can't be a Jew, right? I cannot be Jewish unless I convert. But then I'm a converted Jew. I'm never a true Jew. So should I have Jew guilt and the other Jews don't have? Do you understand?
Yeah. Well, actually, make a good point about the Jews, because how many people are prejudiced against Jews because they're Jews?
Right.
Because when you look at the white supremacy movements, it's always
the Muslims are.
We hate.
I would say that some of the radical Muslims are. I'm not saying they all are, but I would say some of the radical Muslims are prejudicial towards Jews.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Okay. But you made a good point about the Jews, because I wanted to say that, it's interesting is when you look at the white supremacy movement, who do they hate? They hate blacks, Latinos, Jews. Jews are white people, but they're not white people. So, I think we were talking a little bit before the show about this, and I want to get back to what we were talking about, but I want to keep going on this a little bit first.
Okay. There's comments coming in, so I'm going to. Paula says, sitting in Congress now.
Okay. Is she sitting and watching Congress?
Paul explained that one because we're both confused.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
That's not hard to do, though.
Okay. So he says he couldn't shake his discomfort. I mean, I had been involved in the incident. I hadn't even been there, so why did I feel I let my friend down? Why did I feel like I let myself down? I would say because you're an idiot. Anyways, you're letting down the rest of people. A few weeks ago, something happened at a Jazz home game that brought back some of the old questions. They were playing against the Thunder, and Russell Westbrook and a fan in the crowd exchanged words during the game. Didn't see it. He actually didn't see or hear what happened, and if you were following on TV or Twitter, maybe you had a similar initial viewing of it. Then after the game, one of the reporters asked me for my response about what went between Russ and the fan. I told him I hadn't seen it and added something like, but Russ, he gets into it with the crowd a lot. Okay, if that's the truth, it's the truth. I don't even know what color Russ is, and I don't know. Russ, maybe you shouldn't screw the fans. Of course, the full story came out later that night. What actually happened was that a fan had said something really ugly at close range to Russ, and Russ responded. After the game, he said he felt the comments were racially charged.
So what?
Yeah.
You're a basketball player. You're a public figure. You're there to play basketball and make money. You're not there to sit there and placate the fans.
If this were the case, then why are they not supporting all the police officers that have things said to them and thrown at them and the ones that are killed? Hey, Kyle, why don't you get off your fucking fat ass and get over there and help the police officers? Was that straight enough?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
If you're so concerned, if this was racially charged, because it is, I'll tell you what, you say it was racially charged and you're going after, I understand it struck a nerve with your team. Well, you know what? The 34 officers that have been killed so far this year, that struck a nerve with my team. Sorry. Am I getting spun up?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, anyways.
Anyway, so he goes on to talk about...
yeah, you know, and Chuck says, welcome to the life of a cop every day. Exactly.
Well, he goes on to talk about...
That, and this one, I won't say shut up, Chuck.
You got to unshut up. So you got a minus score for that one.
So yeah, okay. Anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, there's... He just goes on and on and on about what he thinks...
Wait, scroll back up a little bit. Go ahead and keep talking.
Hold on. I lost where I was at. What did you want to talk about here?
I just see he says it was about what it meant to just exist right now as a person of color in mostly a white space. Where you're at is not mostly a white space. If you look at the game of basketball, there are very few white players on it.
Well, yeah, he talks about that.
You know, it's the kind of thing where it would be just as ridiculous for me to say he has black privilege because he can play basketball and I can't. No, that's ridiculous. I can't play basketball because I'm broken and I never practiced. So the elephant in the room that I've been thinking about, and this is what he says, there's an elephant in the room that I've been thinking about a lot over the last few weeks. It's the fact that demographically, if we're being honest, I have more in common with the fans in the crowd at your average NBA game than I have with players on the court. I got a dumb question. What's Kyle's race?
He's white.
He's white.
Yeah. Chuck, you just lost your unshut up. So
yeah.
Welcome back, James, mentally. Yeah, okay. Shut up.
After
Chuck.
the events in Salt Lake City last month, as we've been discussing them since, I've really started to recognize the role that demographics play in my privilege. I would not say that Kyle has privilege at all. Kyle is a basketball player because he practiced and he worked hard at it. The fact that he's white, that is not a privilege. If it were, then why do we have all these guys that couldn't get into college because they're white? I mean, you have all of these problems when they had, God, what the hell was it? There was a time when if you were white, you had a hell of a time getting into college. You know, because they had, I can't remember what it was called. Somebody help me with that one, please. It's all, he says, I'm granted that privilege. I could just as easily opt out of it. Every day I'm given that choice. I'm granted that privilege based on the color of my skin. Okay. Well, I can't join the NAACP. Right?
I don't know. Can you?
No.
I don't know. I've never tried.
You know what NAACP is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I can't join the NAACP. I can't go into different college. I can't go on a college campus and go into certain groups because I'm white. That's not privilege. That's racism. Okay. Racism is not what's being discussed here. What he's doing is he's saying, "Oh, I feel guilty about being white." That's your problem, not mine. I don't feel guilty about being white. I didn't have a choice for it. But here's what else I know is that I do promote equality all the time. And to say, well, I have the choice. Well, here's the other thing. I have the choice not to go out and break the law and get my ass kicked by the cops.
Well, there's this belief, and he talks about it a little bit, and some of the other articles I pulled up talk about it, that...
Affirmative action. Thank you, Chuck.
If you're a person of color, you're far more likely to be injured or killed by a police officer than a white person. Now...
I thought the numbers prove that wrong.
Whether the numbers prove it wrong or not, what people don't understand is about human nature and perception. Now, you were a law enforcement officer. I know Chuck is a law enforcement officer. I've worked in it. We've all experienced it. Who have experience of it. You realize something is what happens when everyone you deal with lies to you. You start to think everybody lies.
Right.
You know, every things that if the only tool you have is a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail. The problem is when you have a small group of people and we're going to say maybe you work in a predominantly black area, and a small group of those black people are the people you deal with on a daily basis, who are the criminals, who are the problem children. You begin to believe that, it happens subconsciously. You begin to believe that everybody of that race or that, you can't help it. It's just the way our brains work, and you have to fight against that. Because I think that's where the problem comes in. Cops don't get up every day and go, I'm going to go hunt me a black guy or a Mexican or a Jew or Spick or WAP or whatever. And I'm trying to
watch it.
I'm trying to insult as many people as I can here.
You're trying to be ethnically diverse in your.
Yeah, I'm going to give me a Mick. I got to throw my own in there. They don't do that. They get up and go, I got to go to work. I want my cup of coffee. I can do my patrol. I want to come home at the end of the night and see my family.
Right.
But when you deal with a certain group of people all the time, they become a threat to you. And so sometimes in a dark alley or a dark situation or a situation in which you only have seconds to react, you're gonna go back to what you feel and what you've been trained to do, and you're gonna be a human being, and you may or may not make a mistake.
But also, that doesn't have anything to do with color, though. You may work in a predominantly X part of town, X being name your ethnicity. Mm-hmm. Okay, and here's the thing you're gonna realize is that just because you work in a black part of town, you can fight that not institutional racism, but the mental racism that you're saying occurs. I say no, actually, it doesn't.
Well, it does occur, but you have to fight against it. You have to make a mental. You have to
do that.
You have to work against it.
But it has nothing to do with privilege.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm talking about. That's human nature.
This idiot goes out. Table goes out, and I'm assuming committed a crime. I don't know. I didn't get that far into it.
Well, there's no information, and see, that's the thing is he starts talking about this and how he got his he broke his leg and blah blah blah. Well, later on he talks about that the guy was acquitted of the crime. Acquitted of a crime doesn't mean you didn't do it. It just means they couldn't prove it. And generally, like I said, cops don't usually beat you down and break your legs and hurt you unless you're resisting or doing something stupid.
Well, you know what? It's like Jesse Smolin. Mm-hmm. Jesse's mohawk? No, Jesse's. Oh, I saw somebody just put Jesse's mullet, and I got confused. I was like, what does his hair have to do with it? Anyways, but Jesse Smolin, okay, he was acquitted. Now, that's privilege. Mm-hmm. Okay? Isn't that privilege? How come he got off? Well, is it because he's black, or is it because he's a TV personality, or what? You have this privilege on both sides of the fence, and it comes back to the elites. Mm-hmm. It's the people with a lot of money that get away with more stuff. Okay, Tabo got his ass kicked by the cops, and just because he's acquitted, well, you know what? Jesse Smolin was acquitted, and I'll bet you if you took a vote in this country, you'd have a hell of a time finding people that think he didn't do it, and that he was attacked. Mm-hmm. From everybody that I have seen, and I'm not talking everybody I heard of, and it's not all been white people, but it is the general and overwhelmingly general consensus that what Smolin did was that he set that whole attack up. Mm-hmm. So,
Chuck says he disagrees with me. Those who earn bracelets get them. I don't disagree with that at all.
Right.
I think you misunderstand what I was saying. Is that when you deal with a certain group of people all the time, you start to look at everybody unless you make a constant, effort to work against that. It's lazy policing. It's lazy work to go, I arrested 10 black guys last week. Well, this guy must be guilty because he's black. People fall into that. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that it's something that you have to work against. And like anything, there's always bad actors and bad apples that gives everybody a bad name. The majority of our police officers, like I said, they don't get up every morning and want to go hunt a black person or whoever. They just want to get through their day and come home to their families. But this guy is another example of he's talking out of his ass, basically, because he doesn't know what really happened. He doesn't know why the guy got his leg broken. Did he get his leg broken because he twisted his leg and fell when he was walking handcuffed because he was drunk? I don't know. Do you know? He doesn't know.
Yeah, we'll see. And it doesn't provide that information.
Did he get it broken because he tripped over something? And
here's the thing too. I think the reason he doesn't provide it is because he realizes he'll lose his audience. Mm-hmm. If he tells them, the guy was out drunk and he should have been back at the hotel sleeping for a game the next day, and that when the police came in, he got in their face and took a swing at him and they beat his ass. Well, you know what? Everybody go, well, should have done that. Mm-hmm. This white privilege thing is the leap into how it's condoning misbehaving and bad behavior, which is ridiculous.
Well, see, that's what Chuck says. He says 15 years, never cared about race. If you earned it, you got it. And he makes a good point that...
Scroll down.
What I wanted to say is about this particular guy's, and what he fails to realize is that when certain people do certain things, the people around them... I guess I really need to go back to another article to explain what I'm talking about, because they were talking about examples of white privilege, and one of those is that black people tend to be more charged in the media, and they tend to get a worse rap, or more bad press. Okay, right. For what they're doing, and whereas white people can do horrible things and they don't get as much bad treatment by the press. That's white privilege, and I'm like, no. What happens is with the majority of people who are good, decent people, they will disavow and, we don't want anything to do with that guy's a scumbag, and so when that happens, there's no controversy there. There's no story there. But when you have a bunch of people who will go around the person and say, oh, he was a good boy, even though he just robbed the store just before he, tried to kill a cop and got himself shot, oh, he would never do anything wrong. Now you have a conflict. You have two people saying, you have people on one side saying he's a good guy, and the people on the back side. That makes for great television. Right. When everybody goes, no, hands off, the guy's a scumbag, everybody agrees. That doesn't make for good television.
Well, it's like the guy that protested against his son and two other guys were shot by a kid with an AR-15. They're trying to break in and rob the house and kind of a home invasion robbery. Kid pulls out an AR and mowed him down. And then, of course, Dad says, well, that was unfair. Well, fuck fair. You're not supposed to break into houses. Yeah. I'm sorry. You want fair? It's in Puyallup.
Chuck says, try actions have consequences. Exactly. Yeah. You do something wrong, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. But, there's a whole group of people out there who don't want to have to take responsibility.
And the thing is that they use race as a reason to not take responsibility, which is ridiculous. And if I were to say if there were any white privilege, well, I can't use being white for, not being able to take responsibility. So what I would say to everybody is take responsibility regardless of ethnicity. So if I have all this white privilege, then why am I supposed to take responsibility for everything that I've done and everything that you've done? No, I'll take responsibility for what I've done. But white privilege said, does white privilege say that I can break the law and then claim it's racism and get away with it? No, I can't. I mean, do you understand? I know it's a little convoluted thinking here, but...
Well, I'm going to play some audio. I didn't think I was going to, but I think it'll actually work really well in here.
Here comes a interesting... Oh, wait, there was a statement on there. Oh. Because I was going to... so I have a message. I'm going to see if it's from Frank. Oh. Oh, okay. No, it's something else. I was trying to make sure it wasn't Chuck sending me a message, or Frank sending me a message. He says in here, how can I, as a white man, part of the systematic... See, he says, how can I, as a white man, part of this systemic problem, become part of the solution? The first thing is you got to change your thinking. It's not a systemic problem. Okay? Because you're white is not part of the problem. That is racism. If anyone were to say, because I'm white, I'm part of a problem, I'd say that's racism. It would be like me saying, because you're black, you're part of the drug problem. Or because you're Hispanic, you're part of the bank robbery problem, or whatever. That's
I was going to say the car part problem.
What's that?
They're always portrayed as chop shops and car thieves.
Exactly. Yeah. So am I going to, do all Mexicans run chop shops? No. Do all blacks, deal with drugs? No. Everybody, that's all different. So to say one race does one crime more than other, that's racism. How can he become part of the solution? Shut the fuck up. Sorry. I've used that word twice in this show.
I know. I'm shocked and stunned. Not really.
Oh, shut up. Anyways, shut up, James. You too, Chuck. Anyways.
Okay, so I want to play some audio.
Okay, go ahead.
This is from...
I'll allow you.
Huh?
I'll allow you.
Okay, it's from Color of Fear and Victor Lee Lewis. So he has some interesting things to say, and we'll kind of break this down too, because this fits right into what we're talking about here.
There's a certain sort of silent consciousness
about what it means to be American that I sense coming from white folks that I'd like to talk about. Before I do that, I'd like to say one more thing that's hard about talking about racism, and that is that people of color are spilling their guts and doing education to white people. Let me explain to you how you've got this wrong. Let me explain to you how you've got that wrong. Let me explain, and then we get cross-examined, and it's like, well, maybe your problem is blah, 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 blah. And it's always, racism gets looked at as a person of color's problem, and it's not. We're like on the receiving end of the problem, but we're not the problem. I walk in a world where black people, where Latinos, where Asians, where Arabs, all these different people are experienced as problem people, and that, well, we're going to deal with the person of color problem when in fact racism is essentially a white problem.
That right there is racist.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is that white people are the only people on the planet who are racist. You're saying that we're the only ones who look at it and go, well, it's your problem. That's, to me, is ridiculous. This guy keeps going on. He's got some other good stuff I want to talk about. But this is the problem that we have when you talk about race. When you allow people to say, well, it's your problem or this problem, instead of everybody owning the problem.
Right.
It's a human problem. So, but he goes on about talking about people who
so
are...
I can't say the N-word, right?
No, but they can.
But they can't. Okay, if it is such a racially charged word, stop using it completely. Mm-hmm. Okay? I got reprimanded for calling... I asked if somebody was, what was it, Oriental. Mm-hmm. And they said, oh, no, it's Asian. And I said, what the hell's Oriental? And they said, that's rugs.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So if... and I know that there's a lot of inter-racism that occurs in the Asian world. Okay, all right. So is that white people's problem?
No.
Look
at the Japanese and what they did to the Chinese during World War II.
My God, they still do it.
Yeah,
they still treat in that part of the world. They still treat them with a lot of disdain.
Well, but that's not racism, because only white people can be racist.
Right.
Okay, let's go on.
And that for you to understand what racism is about, you're going to be so uncomfortable. You're going to be so different from who you see yourself to be now that, there's just no way for you to get it from where you're sitting. And I'm not saying that you could never get it. I mean that you need to step outside of your skin and step outside of what seems really comfortable and familiar to you and launch out into some real, for you, unknown territory. And you haven't gone out there like you haven't, gotten in proximity to black people, as you say, because you don't have to. And that's part of what it means to be American, to me, is to have all these things that you can do if you want to, that you don't have to do if you don't want to do. And there's a way in which American and white and human become synonyms.
Okay, so break that down a little bit. What he was talking about, he's using what I like to call gotcha language. Mm-hmm. You can't understand. Well, then why are you spending your time trying to make me understand if I can't understand? To me, it's that, I'm right, you're wrong, and,
And you've got to suck it up.
Yeah, you got to do things my way.
And it puts us behind the curve. Mm-hmm. The thing is, he makes another comment here is that you can make the choice as to where you walk and who you hang out with. But as a white guy, if I choose not to hang out with black people or Asians, then I'm racist. Mm-hmm. But he is a black man if he chooses not to hang out with Asians or white people, but then that's okay for him. Mm-hmm. It's a
double standard.
Yeah, definitely.
So, all right, he gets better.
That why can't we just treat each other as human beings? To me, when I hear it from a white person, it means, why can't we all just pretend to be white people? I'll pretend you're a white person, and then you can pretend to be white. Why don't you eat what I eat? Why don't you drink what I drink? Why don't you think like I think? Why don't you feel like I feel? God damn it, I'm so sick and goddamn tired of hearing about that. I'm sick of that. That's what it means to be human being to me. That's what it means to be white. That's what it means to be American. Why don't you come the hell over here? That's what I hear every goddamn day. And you know that I can't come over there. You know that this skin and that this hair and that this way that I talk and that I think and I feel will never, ever get included because I'm unpalatable to this goddamn nation. I'm unpalatable.
Comment right there. Stop it for a sec. He says, I will never be included. But if we say, well, come on over, we're trying to include you.
Well, he's sitting in a round table with a bunch of people.
Right. No,
That's
I understand
inclusion,
that, but
you know?
what he's saying, though, is that he's saying he can never be white. And when a white person says, come on over, then we're telling him he needs to come over and try to be white. If I tell somebody to come on over, is that we need to walk together. We need to walk and talk together. It has nothing to do with your color. Treating you properly has nothing to do with your color. I treat people properly, not based on their gender, ethnicity, any of that stuff.
Well, what you're saying is that you know, being human being to him says you have to be a white person or act like a white person.
Well, that's what it means to him. So who's the racist?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is and then you know he kind of loses a lot of credibility when he goes off the deep end and starts screaming. You know, if you're going to have an intelligent discourse, you need to stay calm and have an intelligent discourse. If you're upset, you need to back away a little bit. You know. A lot of this has come from this particular article or paper written by Peggy McIntosh's groundbreaking essay, White Privilege, Unpacking the Invisible Knapsack, published in 1988. I went through and read a lot of this. And again, a lot of this it comes down to is they want to have a double standard. They want to have...
We go back to it. You took it off the screen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wasn't. What it comes down to is what he was saying is, you know, when you have a society, you have to have a certain amount of rules and a certain amount of code of behavior. Right. That everybody has to live within that code of behavior to make it work. Okay. Human beings, by nature, distrust things that they don't understand that are not like them. So you have to train people to deal with and integrate in stuff with things that they don't understand or things that are not like them. Okay. And so it's natural for us to quickly, you know, that's neuro-linguistic programming. It's very natural for us to trust someone who sounds like us, looks like us. So there's already a natural bias or untrust of somebody who doesn't look like you, doesn't sound like you, whether you're white, male, female, that you have to overcome. Okay. And we can overcome it. It's easy to overcome. You just treat people with respect and decently, you know, and not look at those things. But, the problem is that when you say you want a colorblind society, but you want to be black, well, do you want to be black or do you want to be in a colorblind society? Because you can't have it both ways. If you say that you want to have... Well,
that's the problem is I think a lot of people want it both ways.
Yeah. You know, race, well, this is one of the things they're talking about in this article or this paper is that race and ethnicity is an important part of their identity. And okay, I buy that. Being a white, Scottish, Irish American, that's an important part of my identity. Why is it any less important for me to be white than it is for you to be black? You know, I mean, you don't have to wipe out a person's identity or their race, or their color, or ethnicity, and still behave in a code of, you know, behavior that everybody can agree and get along.
Right. And this whole thing with celebrate diversity, I agree with celebrating diversity. Celebrate that other people have other thoughts and beliefs and colors and everything else, and you can celebrate that because there's more you can learn from them. But to accuse me of something just because of my color, bam, racism. Anyway, so there's a couple things that have come in. You know, Jason says, I never ever have I needed a celebrity or an NBA star or an actor, but I've needed a doctor, dentist, and cop. So here's the thing. So I have all this white privilege, right? Well, what race do you think my doctor is?
I have no idea.
Oh, he's Asian.
Oh.
Why? Because I trust him. He's a good doctor. I read up on him. Yes, I looked at his picture, but I read his bio, and then I met him and we talked. And he's the guy I go back to all the time. Is that white privilege because I can go to an Asian dentist? No, he's an Asian. I don't give a damn that he's an Asian. He's a functional doctor. His race means nothing. You know, nothing at all. You know, and then Jason also says, you know, dentist. No, my dentist is a white guy. And then what was it? Or a cop. When I need a police officer, I really don't care what his race is. All I care is he's got the badge and the authority, and I may need him for something. You know, and it says Paula says, truth, Jason, I don't know how we made them so relevant. Oh, shut up, Chuck says, this sucks without Frank, just saying. Anyways, Frank, you need to be here. Treat everyone with respect regardless. That's from Chuck. I completely agree. Chuck also says, I think we have a large portion of the original. Oh.
Yeah, we've lost some of the people.
Where's everyone? Yeah, Chuck says we lost the group. Paula says, shut up, Chuck. Well, we need to make sure that they know how to get down here, and that they can join us.
I will. You know what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to write up
What's that?
I'll have to write up a step-by-step post on Facebook of how to get on YouTube.
Now I'm gonna take this in a little bit different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I believe that the elites are the ones creating the discourse amongst us in order to foster resentment and to keep us down.
Well, who are the elites?
The elites are the rich people. Mm-hmm. Now, Kyle, what's his stupidity? Korver, is an elite. Mm-hmm. He makes a ton of money playing basketball. He's just he just plays a stupid game. Okay? And he is like a basketball. He's just full of air. Mm-hmm. Makes a ton of money, but then he can write these cute little things. But I really wonder if Korver has worked an honest day in his life. Has he come down and washed dishes in the kitchen past college? You know, has he sorted laundry? Has he done any of those things? Or just live in a big fancy house?
I'm going to throw something in here that you know, he's a human being, and he has every right to his opinion, just like anybody else. But he also has a right to be full of it, just like anybody else.
Well, yeah, and I would say he's full. He's like a basketball. He's just full of air.
Well, yeah, and the problem.
Here's the thing, though, is that you have these elites out there, regardless of race, okay, that are trying to get their kids ahead and stomping on the rest of us. Okay, and this whole thing with Felicity Huffman and what's the other dipshit's name? I can't remember. Felicity Huffman and
I'm looking here.
Oh, there's a woman, Huffman, and I can't remember her name. Would you stop scrolling?
I'm trying to find it for you.
13 wealthy parents, including actress Felicity Huffman, and one coach will plead guilty to all this stuff. She's pleading guilty. The other one is I keep wanting to say Lindsay Lohan, but that's not her. There's the pictures. Oh, here is that the pictures? Cheap. See, here's the thing: is that these rich people who have a ton of money, they went out and they bought their children the way into school. Okay? It has nothing to do with them being white. This has to do with them being the fact that they have a ton of money, and they felt that because they have money that they can go do these things. And we can make that leap over to any group of people that has a ton of money. Congress is a classic example. Of course, I don't think Congress has done anything since Trump took office. The only thing they've done is go after Trump, and that's it. Have they passed any bills? Have they done any work for the people? Probably not. But then they're the elites. You know, I'm certainly not an elite. Hell, I'm working 2 damn jobs and doing all kinds of other stuff just to...
Chuck says, Sam, where are you? Why isn't Sam on YouTube?
Oh, I don't know.
You'll have to get on him about that.
Okay.
So, but no, I think that it ultimately comes down to money and power. And that people who are in power, people who have the money, they continue to want to have power and money. And when the internet came around and people have the ability to exchange ideas freely, it has changed the surface of the world. And so that they've had to learn how to use those tools to keep people divided. Because what happens when you have the gap between poor and rich gets really, really wide? Well, it's like a rubber band. It can only go so far before it snaps.
Right.
How do you keep the middle class and the poor from paying attention to what the rich are doing? You have to dazzle them. You have to you give them something to chew on. You know.
Yeah, and that's what this whole white privilege problem is. And it also has to do with all the cute little shows they do and all that crap. You know, one of the most uplifting things I did is I stopped watching TV. Every once in a while, I'll watch a movie, and that's different. But I really don't care. And I was a Desperate Housewives fan. I watched Desperate Housewives for years. But you know what? If Jesse Smollett wants to act that way on TV, I don't want to watch him. If Felicity Huffman wants to act that way, I don't want to watch her. You know, and there's 2 different races and 2 different genders. I don't want to watch either one of them. They're idiots. You know, and I don't watch basketball. I personally think it's a senseless game, especially with Kyle Korver, who doesn't know what the hell he's talking about playing. You know, find out why did the guy get his leg broken. So the charges were dropped. Well, you know what caused it? And if the police were out of line, then how come they weren't sued immediately? Excuse me.
Yeah, there's just not enough information in the article. But I think writing these type of articles is dangerous, and I think that yes, you have your right to your opinion, but when you're in a position of you have a platform and people will pay attention to you. You know, writing an article that's poorly investigated, poorly researched,
and poorly constructed.
Yeah, is just it's dangerous. You know, it's.
Hey Kyle, look, you're a trained monkey. Go shoot the ball in the little basket, and we'll watch you and pay you for that.
Oh, I'd love to see that on that cut on ESPN. We have to find a way to get that up there.
Kyle, shut the fuck up and throw the little round ball in the basket.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, he's white. You're white. You can say that. You're
yeah,
okay.
I can.
Because you can say you're a trained monkey. Because if you said that about
trained monkey,
he said that about a black player. Oh, we'd be shut down.
No, I'm not. Here's the thing, though, is that one, I can say it. Two, I wouldn't say it about a black man because I know to a black man that's offensive. Now, is that white privilege or is that just fucking being smart? I'm being smart, but I'll call Kyle Korver a trained monkey all day long. Okay. You know, what would I say about a black man who plays basketball that I was angry at and I was going to call him names? I'd say, dude, the only thing you're trained at is the little ball and the little hoop. I'd back away from the monkey statement. Okay? So let's back away from it completely. Look, dude, you're just a trained knucklehead that throws a little blown up ball into a little basket like, you know, I don't know, ping pong balls in the trash can. Hey, congratulations. Shut up and do something constructive. How much money do you know how much do you donate of the millions of dollars how much do you donate to homeless kids in Salt Lake? I'll bet there's nothing there.
You know, you were you're kidding on him. I just think that again, I think that it comes down to he has a platform, he's using his platform, and he thinks what he's doing is right, and I understand that. You know, I understand that he's feeling guilty for being white, and that, you know, from his perspective, he thinks he's doing the good thing by writing this article.
Okay, hang on a minute. No, I'm going to argue with you on that for just a minute.
You don't think that he's...
I don't give a fuck what he thinks his platform is, or that he's right or... No, he's not.
Okay, well, hold on. Let me finish my train of thought here.
Go ahead.
Okay?
You're starting to sound liberal.
No, hold on. What I'm trying to say is that from his perspective, he thinks he's doing the right thing, right? The problem is...
He's a moron.
He's a useful idiot.
Yeah.
Okay?
He's a what?
Useful idiot.
Useful? How's he useful?
I use that term specifically.
How is he useful? I'd say he's a useless idiot.
No. You've read Karl Marx's... what's it called? It's basically Manifesto on Communism.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, he calls them the useful idiots, the people that like Kyle, like the stuff that are used by the establishment.
Then I'll agree. Now I'll agree with that.
You see where I'm going? That's why I use the term useful idiot. He's a useful idiot.
All right, I'm acquiescing here.
Okay, so my point is that if he actually took the time to research and really look at the issue.
I don't think he's smart enough to research.
No, he wants a soundbite. He wants attention. You know, he's a basketball player. You know, he's used to getting attention. Hug you enough?
Go get a hug from her right now.
Oh, nice. Yes, nice spaceship background. Yeah, I was trying to find something different. So,
what?
Huh? The background. It's we're on the observatory looking out over Earth.
Oh, look at this. Yeah. Paula says. Shithead O'Rourke is saying, I have enjoyed white privilege. It's now becoming a platform for politics, too. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Do you know who I am? Yeah, there's but how many times have I had that said to Chuck? I know it's probably about the same amount of times. How many times have we walked up to somebody and they say, do you know who I am? Regardless of their race, okay? You know, does Jesse Jackson and
don't
Al
care.
Sharpton have black privilege because they don't have to pay taxes and they can incite riots and do all that other crap? I can't do that. If I did that stuff, I'd go to jail. So I'm privileged to be able to get locked up and be held responsible for my stupidity. Sorry.
Anyway, so...
in with the good, out with the bad.
Yeah. No, I think that what we need to do and the reason I wanted to do the show is put out there that, yeah, this guy, he has the right to his opinion, and I think he's being a useful idiot. He's being used, and he thinks that he's doing the right thing. I think that the real right thing is to treat everyone with respect. Really,
Yeah.
Their educational, economic, gender orientation, sexual orientation, color, race, weight.
Do you want to end,
we're all human
racism?
beings.
Treat people with respect. Love your neighbor as yourself. Where have I read that before?
But the thing about respect, remember, respect is earned.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Nope. I'm gonna totally see respect is earned, because if
Not basic human respect. That's what I'm talking on a basic human dignity level. That's not earned. That is always given.
Okay. I'm talking.
Okay, to end racism. If you start at that basic level.
Okay. Well,
love
I
your
guess what
neighbor
I'm
as
trying to
yourself.
say about
Yes, I'm quoting the Bible here, but love your neighbor as yourself. Okay. Whether you believe in it or not, it's in writing. So I would say, you know what? That is a well-written piece of material that says love your neighbor as yourself. It doesn't mean you have to hang out with them and do all that stuff. No, but you respect them as a basic human being.
Okay.
Period.
What I'm trying to say about respect being earned is just, I guess let's go back to play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I may have misspoken respect. At least we're talking about two different things here. I'm talking about everybody should be treated. It's like the old saying is that if you're afraid that people will find you a fool, then it's better to be quiet than to open your mouth and prove them right.
Right.
My point is that everybody should be treated equally until they deserve not to be, until they've done something to not be treated equally, And what I mean by treated equally is that once you break the law, let's use the law for example, you've broken the law, you no longer have the rights of a law-abiding citizen. You now have the right to be detained, arrested, charged, and so on.
But you still have basic human dignity.
Yeah.
Regardless.
I'm not talking about that.
No, I am. Because here's the thing: is if you start at that level, basic human dignity, that's how you end racism. Okay, not some stupid white privilege, white knucklehead throws a white trained knucklehead that throws a little ball, that throws a ping pong ball in a trash can. If you start at that basic human dignity level, that will wipe out racism.
Right. Let's see.
Just suggesting.
Yeah. Chuck says, be polite to everyone. Do unto others as you want done to you. I agree.
Yeah, golden rule. Yeah. That's right.
Feel free to walk away when they become morons. Yep. Paula, I miss everyone. There's no fun without the additional comments. Yeah, we do need to get people moved over to YouTube. And I played the fifth. Okay, no more. I think Facebook was a better platform for this personally.
Boy, they sure shot you down, didn't they?
Well,
that was a personal comment.
Yeah, but who was the one who said we should go over to YouTube?
What's that?
Who said we should go over to YouTube?
You did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I said I'd been thinking.
I said we needed to upload everything to YouTube and we should stay on Facebook.
Okay.
How do we jump from white privilege? Is this Greg privilege? Anyways.
Yeah. Well.
No, but I think I'm going to go back to how do we end it? We end it through basic human dignity, basic human respect. Okay? And here's the thing, James, is that just because I respect you doesn't mean I got to hang out with you.
Right.
Period. Okay? I hang out with you because I want to, but if I don't want to hang out with somebody else, I don't. Plain and simple. Sure as hell not going to hang out with, some idiot that throws ping pong balls in a trash can. Unless we're drinking beer, then I just might. Anyways. That was supposed to be a joke, but evidently went over your head.
I'm reading the comments. I really wasn't paying attention to you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, James privilege.
Yeah.
Well, you have privilege over there. You have 3-screen privilege.
Yeah, I'm the privilege behind.
Paula says, wait, who does Paula love? I'm not sure who. Anyways.
Chuck says you love Paula. Paula loves Chuck. So.
Oh, what is Shelly going to say?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's grow the okay.
Yes, we're trying to grow the audience. So that's one of the reasons we moved to YouTube. I wish Facebook is the one that doesn't allow to simulcast.
I wish I had $1 million.
So. Well, yeah, but they don't allow us to simulcast on both platforms, which is stupid.
Well, can't we upload the video to?
Yeah, but they want to be able to make live comments. So, and they like making live comments better on Facebook.
Don't they make live comments on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the difference?
Well, we're trying to get a bigger audience on because anybody can find us here, whereas you really have to know about us on Facebook. So.
Yeah, but if you upload us to Facebook and say, hey, we're on every Monday night on if you upload us to YouTube and then say, hey, every Monday night we're on Facebook, wouldn't that bring them over too?
Yeah, but we're talking about making comments live.
Shut up, Chuck says, she knows, and that's Shelly. She says, let it go and don't ask the audience. Okay.
Okay, anyway. So, yeah, so we're trying to build the show. We're trying to build, which is I'm going to segue into the thing we're about to launch. Patreon is a website that allows people who want to become patrons of the arts. You can sign up and provide.
Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, let me give my little commercial here, and then you can say something. So we're about ready to launch our Patreon site. So we'll be giving you more information over the next little while. If you feel like you want to support the show, there are ways to do that financially. Be a patron of the show, and there will be different tiers in which you can support at, and there will be different benefits for being in those different tiers. We just still have to figure those out. So, okay, so my daughter just finally got on here.
Yeah, I saw that. So, all right, so let's take a quick poll amongst our 5 members. Well, actually, it'll be 3 members that are listening. So my thought pattern on this is why don't we stay on Facebook and weekly upload everything to YouTube? Wouldn't that draw them to Facebook?
Yes and no.
That was helpful.
Well, here's the thing. It's easier to find live feeds on YouTube than it is on Facebook.
Why?
Because all you have to do is click on live on YouTube, and it will bring you to the top live feeds that are going on right then. There's no function like that in Facebook.
So how would they find us on YouTube?
If you want to watch a live feed, you just click live, and it will pop up all the live feeds. Last week,
yeah, but how many live
we were on the
feeds
top
are there going on right now?
I don't know. I'd have to pop it up and see. But
well, why don't you find out? Let's get a rough estimate of looking at it. That's why I'm saying, stay on Facebook because we had a bigger audience, and just put it over onto YouTube.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna go. Hold on, I'm trying to load up YouTube on the laptop. Commander Cotton Paw's my daughter, by the way. For those who are, a mumbler.
Okay, live. I'm waiting. Where's it?
Hold on.
Library, history, show more. I'd say show more. Live. There you go. Okay, how many come up when you hit live? There are 9,711,962.
That's subscribers.
Oh. So live now. Oh, look, they got wrestlers. Ooh, do that one. Look at that girl. No. I'm kidding. Anyways.
So these are the live streams.
Right. So how many are there?
I don't know.
Do you think there's like a ton of them?
There's a few, yeah.
Yeah, a few. A few. That's James's way of saying he's lost the argument, but he doesn't want to admit it.
Well, no, whatever. I don't care what platform we're on, to be honest with you. You were the one who was all, we should go to YouTube.
No, I kept saying we should upload all this stuff to YouTube.
Well, yeah, I said I definitely would upload to YouTube.
Right.
When I had the time.
And now you have brought us over to YouTube.
Mm-hmm. We can go back.
Okay, folks, what do you think? Should we go back? That's what I'm asking. Okay, here, let's see what the comments are. Hi, James's daughter. Welcome to the asylum. Yeah, no kidding. James has been a mumbler. Not to be mean, but you aren't going to be the top feed.
Well, I know that.
That's a pretty straightforward.
I know we're not going to be the top
YouTube
feed.
is better for live. But again, I'm going to go back to the comment Paula makes as a really straightforward comment that while it is better for live, as your daughter says, we're not going to be the top.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways.
Actually, I think it was Paula that said that, but
that's what Paula said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was. What did you think I was attributing to somebody else?
Yeah, you said my daughter.
No, your daughter said. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Your daughter said YouTube is better for live. I agree with her, but the flip side is what Paula said is that we're not going to be the top for live.
Well, yeah, not now. We got to build the show.
So why don't we build it on YouTube or on Facebook and then take it over?
Well, that's what we thought we were doing.
Okay.
So, apparently, you're saying we're not ready for that.
I'm saying we're not ready for that.
Chuck says it was easier for us old folks. All right, well, yeah. I'm down. We can go back to
shut up,
streaming
Chuck. Anyways, I say we go back to Facebook.
Okay.
And because then we'll have more people. We've lost 2/3 of our audience.
Well, we don't know if they're not listening. Well, I know Frank hasn't been able to make comments, but we don't know if people are just busy.
But Frank is part. But here's the thing, though, is that we feed off the comments.
Yeah.
Shout outs.
Oh boy, go for it.
Of course, to the kids. And I'm going to headed down to see a bunch of my friends this weekend, so I won't be here next weekend or next Monday. I'm going down to see some friends.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll have a guest host next week.
Yeah, you will. Who is it?
I don't know yet. I have an idea of who I'd like to invite on. We'll see.
Who would you like to invite?
Well, I'm not going to say until I actually have a solid yes.
So you're going to tell me after we shut down?
I will.
Are you going to do it on Facebook or on YouTube next week?
We'll do it on Facebook. Okay. Go back to Facebook.
You make it sound like I'm twisting your arm and pulling your hair out.
You know, we wanted to build the show.
Wait. Are you hurt? Do you need a hug? I can come over and give you a hug.
I don't care. Let's move on with the show.
Hang on a second. I'm going to come give you a hug.
No, don't get up. Because we need to finish the show.
I'm going to come give you a hug while you're doing your shout out.
You could, that's okay. Just sit where you're at.
Hey, everybody, does Chuck...
Because Chuck will make comments about bromance if you come over and hug me.
Does James need a hug from Greg?
Don't need a hug.
I think that's what we need to find out.
No. I'm not whining.
Who said you were whining? I didn't say.
Chuck did.
Shut up, Chuck said. Oh, Chuck says, do it, Greg. I'm the best guest host. How can you be a jest host?
Huh?
Your daughter says she's the best jest host.
You know what? It might be fun. As Chuck, if you ever wanted to come on like Skype and do a guest host Skyping.
There's an idea.
Yeah. Anyway.
It'd probably go to his head. Okay, so I've done my shout-outs.
All right. I have no shout-outs this week.
None?
Nothing, yeah.
What about tin-soldier.com?
Yeah, well, it's...
that's Amazon.com comes first, doesn't it?
Well, it's the book series.
The book series on Amazon.com.
On Amazon.com. So.
James S. McEwen's Hammer's War series on Amazon.com. You got to search for James S. McEwen and the Hammer's War series, and you'll find his books. You got to make sure you get that middle initial in there.
Yeah, because there's another James McEwen out there, and he doesn't write the good stuff.
There's 4 books: Forging the Hammer, Dimension Shift, First Strike, and then Hammer's Commandos. 5th book, I'm almost there. I promised James I'd have it done for him before I went to Arizona, so I got to be left alone. And but you got to read it. It's science fiction for those who don't like science fiction. And then, of course, James does.
Oh, you want me to do the
Boy, it was quiet.
Okay.
I got to hear my heart beating.
tin-shoulder.com. It is the premier place on the web to purchase miniatures.
Paula wants to
original
hurt your feelings.
No, you didn't hurt my feelings. But the thing is you guys are not privy to the fact that Greg he has forgotten that he's the one who said we should take it over to YouTube.
I did not.
He's denying it. Denier. He's a YouTube denier. So, anyways, what are you doing? Greg is getting up from his chair. He's going to come. Oh, God. No. I will stab you with something. So there you go. Anyway, so
tin-soldier.com.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back to tin-soldier.com. So yeah, if you're a war gamer, you play D&D, you need fantasy figures, or you're a science fiction fan. If you're a fan of the books, all the books are built in the Stargard universe, so there's plenty of miniatures from that universe available on tin-soldier.com. So
and if you need a hug, let me know, and James would be more than happy to take one from you.
So yeah, bromance. See, I knew it. I'm gonna have to play Guy Love again. So. Maybe I should go out with that, Guy Love. Anyway.
Excellent. The bromance is real.
So next week we'll have a guest host. We'll be back on Facebook.
And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Hey, don't forget, Easter's coming up. Make sure they get your... Whoops, what happened to the screen?
I took it down because I forgot to put up the program that I used to
Don't forget, Easter's
music,
coming. So. Good Friday's going to be here. And then, of course, on to Easter. Make sure that you spend time with your family.
For those who are Christians.
What?
For Christians. I mean, I don't know. Jews don't.
What, spending time with your family?
On Easter? It's a Christian holiday.
Well, I understand that, but still you should spend time with your family. It had nothing to do with being a Christian.
Okay. I thought you were saying spend time with your family on Easter.
Oh, so. Is that an assumption? Like you assumed that I said we needed to go over to YouTube?
Yeah, he's lying. He's forgotten. He doesn't want to admit that he's the one who said that we should come over here.
Thank you, Paul. Safe travels. I appreciate that.
All right. Let's get out of here for the night. And you guys be safe out there. Have a good
Chuck,
week.
We're coming back to... Frank, we're coming back to Facebook. So
there you go.
All right. You guys take care of yourself. Have a great week. And I will see you in 2 weeks. James will be back next week.
Yep. Let's get out of here.
All right. We'll see you guys later.